In 1867, Kansas State University held its first commencement. 3 women and 2 men graduated that year. As the first land-grant university in the nation, this fledgling university had a vision of providing innovative education to all people. That early vision has continued through to the present. With over 250 majors and a diverse student body, including students from all 50 states and more than 100 countries. Becoming one of the nation's top 50 public research universities by 2025 is today's vision for tomorrow. With academic programs among the best in the nation and professors who are leaders in their fields, Kansas State University is an international leader in teaching, learning, service, and research. Today's graduates join over 200,000 alumni who are proud to call K-State their alma mater. Congratulations, and thank you to all those who have supported them through their undergraduate experience at Kansas State University.
Good morning, everyone. Will you please rise for the singing of the national anthem by one of our graduating students in applied music, Mr. Noah Lindquist.
Dawn's early light, what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallant. Bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the and the home of the brave.
Thank you, Noah. Thank you. You may be seated. Welcome to the Fall 2018 commencement of the College of Arts and Sciences at Kansas State University. My name is Amit Chakrabarty, and I serve as the Dean of the college. This is a happy occasion to which we particularly welcome parents, spouses, relatives, and friends of our graduates. We are here this morning to honor these graduates and to celebrate with them their success in completion of their rigorous programs. They follow the path of many who came before them and impacted our community here in Northeast Kansas. I would like to introduce the platform party and ask that each member of the party stand as their name is read and remain standing until all have been introduced. Richard B. Myers, President of Kansas State University. Dr. Charles Tabor, Provost and Executive Vice President. Dr. Kimathi Choma, Assistant Dean for Diversity, Recruitment, and Retention. Amy Button-Rains, President and CEO of the K-State Alumni Association. Dr. Louise Benjamin, Associate Dean of Academic Affairs. Dr. Allison Whitley, Assistant Dean of Students. Dr. Kristen Corwin, Associate Dean for Research. Dr. Don Hedrick, Professor of English. Brandon Collins, Master's Student in Music. Noah Lindquist, graduating senior, applied music with a concentration in theater. Please join me in recognizing the platform party. You may be seated. We wish to recognize now the leaders and the representatives of all departments in the College of Arts and Sciences. Could each individual stand as their name is read and remain standing, and please hold your applause until all have been introduced. Aerospace Studies, Lieutenant Colonel Heath Duncan. American Ethnic Studies, Dr. Yolanda Broyles Gonzalez. Art, Professor Matthew Gaynor. Biochemistry and Molecular Biophysics, Dr. Michael Zolkiewski. Biology, Dr. Brian Spooner. Chemistry, Dr. Daniel Higgins. Communication Studies, Dr. Gregory Paul. Economics, Dr. Philip Gale. English, Dr. Corinne Westman. Gender, Women's, and Sexuality Studies, Dr. Christy Lonius. Geography, Dr. Charles Martin. Geology, Dr. Pamela Kempton. History, Dr. Michael Crisco. Journalism and Mass Communication, Dr. Nikhil Moro. Mathematics, Dr. Andrew Bennett. Military Science, Lieutenant Colonel Peter Gray. Modern Languages, Dr. Derek Hillard. Music, Theater, and Dance, Dr. Jeff Ward. Philosophy, Dr. Bruce Glimmer. Physics, Dr. Brett DiPaula. Political Science, Dr. Sam Bell. Psychological Sciences, Dr. Michael Young. Sociology, Anthropology, and Social Work, Dr. Gerard Middendorf. Statistics, Dr. Christopher Val. Please join me in recognizing the representatives of our academic departments. You may be seated. It is my pleasure to introduce Dr. Louis Benjamin, Associate Dean for Academic Affairs, who will present our faculty awards now.
We will now present the William L. Stamey Awards for undergraduate teaching in the College of Arts and Sciences, immediately followed by the presentation of the Ronald N. Gaish's Teaching Awards. Will the Stamey Award winners please make their way to the stage as I tell you a little bit about the award. William L. Stamey is a mathematician and served as Dean of the College of Arts and Sciences for 17 years, from 1970 to 1987. In recognition of Dean Stamey's outstanding record in recruiting excellent faculty to the Kansas State University, and in recognition of the continuing need to foster excellence in teaching and advising, the College of Arts and Sciences has established the William L. Stamey Award in his honor. The college will grant 4 such awards this year. Will the recipients for these awards come to the podium as they are introduced? Our first Stamey Teaching Award is presented to Dr. Katie Carlin, Associate Professor of English and an instructor of creative writing, literature, and film courses at Kansas State University since 2009. Her numerous publications include a short story collection, Send Me Work, which was the recipient of the Balcones Fiction Prize, a Kansas Notable Book Award, and the Huffington Post designation as one of the 20 best books from independent presses in 2011, among other accolades. Congratulations, Dr. Carlin. Our second Stamey Award winner, Professor Deborah Skidmore, is a professor of practice in the A.Q. Miller School of Journalism and Mass Communications and the Strategic Communications Sequence Head. She earned a bachelor's and master's in journalism and mass communications from K-State with a public relations emphasis. She worked 30 years as the public affairs specialist at Fort Riley, Kansas, with the 1st Infantry Division. Deb shares her experience with students, teaching them to work with media, write releases, and handle crises. Congratulations, Professor Skidmore. Our third STAMI Award recipient, Kathy Lilish, is the undergraduate academic advisor for the Department of History and the Department of Political Science. Ms. Lilish serves as the research chair for the University Advisor Forum, is the chair for the Political Science Department's Outreach Committee, and is on the university's Mark Chapman Scholars Program Selection Committee. Congratulations, Ms. Lilish. Our final STAMI awardee, Nicholas Bartz, is a PhD candidate in the Division of Biology. Nick is also actively involved in the science communication efforts and is a member of the Kansas Science Communication Initiative, a Sunset Zoo Science Communication Fellow, and he develops lessons related to his research with local high school students. Congratulations, Nick. I now invite the awardees for the Geisha's Teaching Awards to come to the platform. Ron Geisha's is the former chair of the Arts and Sciences Alumni Advisory Council and a veteran lobbyist with more than 35 years of experience in government relations, public affairs, and association management. Ron established these awards to acknowledge ongoing excellence in undergraduate teaching, as well as teaching innovations that improve pedagogical practices within the college. We will present 3 Geisha's Awards this morning. Our first Geisha's Undergraduate Teaching Award, the Lifetime Award, goes to Dr. Yang-Ming Chang. Over a span of 34 years in teaching economics to students at Kansas State, Dr. Chang has always maintained a strong commitment to teaching. In the economics department, Dr. Chang was the first recipient of the William L. Stamey Teaching Award, dating back to the academic year of 1988-89. Excuse me. During the past 3 decades, he ranked among the top faculty for his teaching performance in annual evaluations. Based on statistics compiled by the Research Papers in Economics, a prominent ranking service in the economics profession, Dr. Chang is ranked in the top 5% of economists nationally, according to publication records of his supervised students and himself. Their achievement is a reflection of Dr. Chang's contributions to teaching at K-State. For his achievements at K-State and beyond, we present Yang-Ming Chang with the Geisha's Lifetime Teaching Award. Congratulations, Dr. Chang. Our next undergraduate Geisha's Teaching Award goes to Dr. Sean Hutchinson, Professor of Geography and the Director of the Geographic Information Systems Spatial Analysis Laboratory. He has extensive international research and teaching experience, including work in France, China, Paraguay, and Senegal. His work has been published in peer-reviewed journals more than 40 times, and he has been an investigator on extramural funded research grants totaling more than $8 million. Dr. Hutchinson also served as an officer in the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers from 1990 to 1995 with the 1st Infantry Division. Congratulations, Dr. Hutchinson. Our final Geisha's awardee, Dr. Don Saucier, is a professor of psychological sciences and a university distinguished teaching scholar. Dr. Saucier is the director of undergraduate studies, chair of the undergraduate program committee, and a co-director for the teaching apprenticeship program in the Department of Psychological Sciences. Congratulations, Dr. Saucier. All of our award winners are doing amazing things in our college, and their accomplishments are detailed more fully in the commencement program. Please join me again in recognizing these outstanding award winners.
It's my pleasure now to introduce today's commencement speaker, Dr. Don Hedrick. Dr. Hedrick is a professor of English and last year was awarded the Geshe's Lifetime Teaching Award. He has also been awarded his department's teaching awards as well as the endowed Donnelly Scholar Award. He has published in the field's top journals on Shakespeare, cultural theory, architecture, and teaching, and his scholarship on Shakespeare has received international recognition with talks given in Europe and Japan and at the World Shakespeare Congresses. He loves when students discover the fun in Shakespeare, along with the profound wisdom that Abraham Lincoln, JFK, Nelson Mandela, and others have found there. He hopes to add a bit of that fun in today's commencement address. Arts and Sciences ×1. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Hedrick.
Thank you, Omid. Welcome, friends, parents, family, loved ones, and especially you graduates shortly to be. Did you sometimes think this would never happen? That never was never till now. Me too. I was worried what to say today. You see, the last graduation talk I gave as a senior in my high school was a disaster. To show off, I quoted from a Faulkner novel in which life's purpose is described as getting ready to be dead a long time. To avoid such disaster today, but not forgetting we are lucky to be alive, we're alive, I'll skip telling you life's why or because, or take a safer route. One even the stupidest professors take. I Googled graduation wishes. Bingo! Sure enough, Hallmark Cards has a website to help the clueless find just the right sentiments to wish graduates. So with a little help from Hallmark and a couple of plagiarisms, my talk follows 4 customer-tested categories. 1, share memory or experience. 2, look to the future. 3, give advice. And 4, most importantly, the warm closing. Forgive me some uninspiring cliches, but I'm sure you graduates are eager to get on with it, right? You'll still have to wait a bit to hear my secret advice for finding a job and for finding love. 1, share memories. 2, I too graduated from a College of Arts and Sciences ages ago. I'm so old, I remember when it was just LGB. My big geezer memories include the moon landing, fated to be unfortunately mixed with Vietnam and Nixon. And so what about our graduating from arts and sciences? 1 diploma, 2 institutions. Their common denominator is the imagination. In 3rd grade, I sold parent-subsidized Christmas cards to get enough sales points for a moonscope, a flimsy but actual reflector telescope, to be able to see the landing on the moon. That prize led to meteor shower watching and astronomy, to science fair projects in math and then psychology. And finally, as a first-generation college student, as I'm sure a bunch of you are as well, right? As a first-generation college student, I found a soft, artsy landing in English literature. My 5 senior-year housemates also graduated 50 years ago, scattering to the winds of Toronto, New York, Boston, Chicago, Boulder, and here. Naming ourselves the Live and Learn Society, we all, hallelujah, found jobs, half in the arts, half in sciences. And all of us found love, against all odds, staying married from the hippie summer of Woodstock on. I married a wildcat. Amazingly, we've all 6 met frequently since then. I wish for you today to find friends like these. That summer, we saw the first man on the moon and images of the distant Earth viewed for the first time as one common home we might need to share. Ryan Gosling, playing Neil Armstrong in the new movie First Man, describes it as not so much about landing on the moon, it's about landing back on Earth. Fast forward 5 decades as you today replay his one step for man, stepping up here to receive your diploma and then make an imaginative giant leap for mankind as you step down a graduate of K-State back to Earth and ordinary air. I now see arts and sciences as really one, or 1 times 1, as they multiply each other. My car even has a bumper sticker, stand up for science. And I hope you graduating the sciences will stand up for the arts. While I admire our diversity in schools, I love the oneness of our uni, as the British call it, or our one-versity. I hope K-State has expanded your imagination and hope that you remember not just stupid professors, but the one amazing professor who spoke to your soul. 2, look to the future. For the immediate future, am happy to announce that you will no longer suffer senioritis. Did you have it? Yeah. I bet mine was worse. I lowered my GPA by taking a bowling course my senior year. Educated at a last great effort and expense, as you and your family well know, the value of your degree is using this new imagination. Maybe you'll help society magnificently, as one of my roommate's wives did by founding the largest program for the homeless in Canada's history. Or maybe you'll just help me out, as I found when I saw that the Hallmark website was created by one of my former students. Or maybe you'll amazingly contribute something in between, helping your community, or making somebody happy, college values that can't be monetized. So here's a little participation exercise and question I'll ask you right now. I'm not going to suggest you forget the debt or imagine you're Danish and don't have to pay for college. Nice idea. But rather that right now you imagine the following scenario. Say first when you got here you were offered the choice of paying at once all 4 years of college expenses and thereby to receive your degree on the spot, okay? Without the bother of the years of experience here. Would you skip the whole college experience and take the diploma and run? It's okay, raise your hand if you would. A few, nobody? Okay, I thought not. Looking to the bigger future, I promised myself I wouldn't be too political about the book of fate has in store for you, but instead I recall the famous so-called Chinese curse to wish on somebody you don't like. You wish they lived in interesting times. And so I hereby wish instead that you might live in less interesting times than our present ones. 3, give advice. While the overall value of your college experience may, like the earth seen as a green leaf, be difficult to see as a whole, as one, you might also overlook smaller takeaways, like the skillful use of search terms when Googling. One student of mine, now holding a government job, told me that she used to scorn having to cram for exams as not being real learning. But now she finds she regularly has to cram for the next day's legislative hearing. Even dorm life gives you handy imaginative skills. Rental housing in Los Angeles is right now so pricey that young college-educated workers are recreating dorm life, calling it co-living. But to appreciate your whole experience as one, think of it as professors can if they were able to watch you over 4 years, as you eventually shut your books and take charge of your own learning. For more advice, I polled my other roommates. From Joe, by way of Thomas Aquinas, seldom affirm, never deny, always distinguish. From Steve, the spirit of liberty is the spirit which is not too sure it is right. And from Tim, the path will wait until you remove the stone from your shoe. I'd only add some speed advice. Wear sunscreen. Confront your own prejudices and privileges. Make mistakes, and with apologies to Bill Snyder's 10th rule of life, which is never give up, sometimes grown-ups have to quit. Life is not football. Respect those with less power or with your degree. Read a book, expand your vocabulary, and finding my 2 secrets on how to get a job and how to get love. To get a job, wear nice clothes and smile a lot. To get love, wear nice clothes and smile a lot. Warm closing. Okay, this is in 2 parts, and you're going to be involved in the first part of this. The first part actually asks you to get out your cell phone right now, okay? And turn it on. And do that? Okay. We're family, as I think you've heard before, but the original meaning of the word is not relatives, blood relatives, but everyone living under the same roof as we are now. So, right now, with your phone on, I'm going to ask you to take a selfie with the person next to you as your last picture of yourself before graduating. Okay, and I know you'll get some afterwards. So get it out, take a picture of yourself with the person next to you whom you may never see again. Like a third cousin at a family reunion or something like that. So you'll have a picture of you before, when you were a nincompoop, and after, when you're smarty pants. And use the hashtag 18ArtSciGrad, and that's listed on the bookmark that you found on your chair, okay? To post to Twitter or Facebook, and with that hashtag, you'll be able to find pictures of your fellow graduating K-State family, okay? So do that now. Take that picture now. So go ahead, make the memory now. Okay, got it? All right. And finally, I want to leave you with this poem. It'll go fast, so don't try to read it. And this is my accompanist, Brandon Collins. If everything happens that can't be done, and in these writer books could plan, the stupidest teacher will almost guess with a run, skip, around we go, yes, there's nothing as something as one. One hasn't a wire because or although, and buds know better than books don't grow, once anything old being everything new. With what, which, around we come who, once anything so. So world is a leaf, so tree is a bough, and birds sing sweeter than books tell how. So here is a way, so here is a my, with a down, up, rounding and fly, forever was never till now. Now I love you, and you love me, and books are shorter than books can be, and deep in the high that does nothing but fall, let's out, each, around we go all, there's somebody calling us we. We're anything greater than even the sun, we're everything greater than books might mean, we're anything more than believe, we're wonderful 1 times 1. Thank you for being our students.
Thank you for this wonderful talk. Thank you. Please give him one more hand. Woo! One times one. That's our college. I'm now going to ask Amy Barton-Rains to come here and give you welcome from the Alumni Association.
Thank you. I'm pleased to be part of this special day, and it's especially a privilege because I'm a 2-time graduate of this college. I want to offer congratulations on behalf of the K-State Alumni Association, representing over 280,000 graduates and friends who will be your lifelong K-State family. Today, as you receive your degree, we are excited to celebrate with you and your family. We are also here to welcome you into a new relationship with your alma mater as you begin this new chapter as a K-State graduate. Our mission at the Alumni Association is to lead and inspire lifelong involvement that will benefit Kansas State University and all members of our Wildcat community. I would like to share 3 of the core values that guide us in our mission to help keep you connected with K-State. The first value is link. The Alumni Association provides the lifelong link that alumni depend on to remain connected. You can stay in touch through hundreds of alumni activities held on campus, around the country, and internationally. Another value is tradition. You will likely celebrate a few traditions this weekend as you sing the alma mater or take KSU photos at your favorite spot on campus. You may also have fond memories of doing the Wabash at a K-State sporting event or rubbing the nose of the bronze Wildcat statue at the Alumni Center for good luck on a test or to ensure a Wildcat victory. As the keepers of tradition, we also hope you will have a chance to visit the Alumni Center to experience all of the wonderful traditions kept there, including our newest addition, a stained glass mural designed by 2016 graduate Marcus Gilbert, which pays tribute to the beauty of our state and the K-State campus. The third core value is purple. For K-Staters, it's more than a color. It's a symbol of pride. connection, and family. When you see someone wearing purple or a K-State class ring or sporting a K-State license plate, you will feel that sense of family. In recognition of your graduation, the College of Arts and Sciences and the Alumni Association are providing you with a complimentary one-year membership to the Alumni Association. We hope you will enjoy the membership benefits and continue to be an active member after your first year. K-State alumni are among the most loyal in the nation. In fact, our membership ranks number 4 among the Power 5 universities and number 1 in the Big 12 for percentage of graduates who are members. That loyalty is shared by generations of K-Staters who have the same passion for K-State that you received today from the finest university in the nation. The Alumni Association is also pleased to present today with an exclusive alumni business card holder. As you go through life and your titles and addresses change, please be sure to keep us updated. We want to make sure you are always connected to your K-State family. Congratulations and go Cats.
It is now my pleasure to invite Richard B. Myers, President of K-State, to the podium for the conferral of degrees. Welcome.
Thank you, Dean. I now have the privilege of conferring your degrees. Will the fall 2018 graduates of the College of Arts and Sciences please stand? By the authority of the people of Kansas and the Kansas Board of Regents, and upon recommendation of the faculty, I am pleased to confer upon you the class of 2018, the respective degrees you have earned at Kansas State University. You may now move your tassel to the left side of your mortarboards. Congratulations!
Graduates, you may be seated. A couple of years ago, I missed that part. Will the marshals please bring the graduates to the podium to receive their diplomas? Graduates, please note that what you will receive today is the diploma cover. Your diploma will be, when you have completed the requirements and paid all your parking fines, will be mailed to you. Ready? Ready? Okay. Yep, I'm coming.
The following students will receive a Bachelor of Arts degree in art. Nayela Yasmin Guzman. Patrick Noah Helms. Savannah Ray Hill. Allegri Catherine Copolis. The following students will receive a Bachelor of Fine Arts degree in art. Sarah Jean Beatty. Nicholas Setterman Burrows. Anton Paul de Blauwe. Kenny Kwok Nam Din. Tyler Dean Jones. Anna Rose Rossetti. Stephen M. Taylor. The following students receive a Bachelor of Arts degree in biochemistry. Zena Moore, summa cum laude. The following students will receive a Bachelor of Science degree in biochemistry. Amide Esther Andajulo. Brendan Anthony Drohard. Matthew Lucas McWhorter. Kayla Elaine Nooch, magna cum laude. Zachary Cale Royster, summa cum laude. The following students will receive a Bachelor of Science degree in biology. Amal Alk Ashraman. Disha Deepak Badlani. Molly Ann Bassett, summa cum laude. Kaylin Mary Edwards. Kelsey Ann Haig. Christy T. Nguyen. The following students will receive a Bachelor of Science degree in Fisheries and Wildlife Biology. Alyssa Janie Bruner. Luke Burns. Foster Garrett Hartman. Richard Cale Hedges. Angelica Maria Teresa Luna. Clayton Jackson Mowbray. Donald Cody Pierce. Terry Lynette Potter. Jaden Jennifer Tatman. Matthew Raymond Sostrich. The following students will receive a Bachelor of Science degree in microbiology. Chase Timothy Cunningham. Michelina Marie Haynos. Carter Lundberg. Jessica Michelle Sharp, cum laude. Catherine Lynn Smith. Jasmine Augusta Snow. Jackson Dean Wilborn. The following students will receive a Bachelor of Science degree in chemistry. Olivia Lissentine Haney, magna cum laude. Hannah Lou Henderson. Monica Juliette Perez. Shyler James Roth. The following students will receive a Bachelor of Arts degree in Communication Studies. Austin Patrick McKenna. Alexandra Lee Parr, summa cum laude. Molly Michelle Pyle. The following students will receive a Bachelor of Science degree in Communication Studies. Richard Andra Gear. Cayman John Hophuck. Justin Lorenz Hughes. Reagan Campbell O'Rourke. Cameron Lydell Raymond Evans. Ronnie Mae Walding. Miranda Watson. Tyler Eugene Watts. The following students receive a Bachelor of Arts degree in Economics. Matthew G. Nelson. Caleb Andrew Stark, summa cum laude. The following students will receive a Bachelor of Science degree in Economics. Matthew John Bucamp. Devon Justice Casey Means. Michael Allen Gobby. Haley Marie Harrison, magna cum laude. Jantu Hugh. William Gage Perry. Jacob Christian Wilgers. Adam Joseph Wilms. Thing Yu. Michael William Zubrat. Mitchell, sorry. The following students will receive a Bachelor of Arts degree in English. Jonathan Robert Baxter. Sophia Lynn Brooks, magna cum laude. Nathaniel William Cameron, summa cum laude. Cody Dodd. Thomas Paul Lahosky. Kylie Renee Norris. Taryn M. Obrey, summa cum laude. Andrew Page Pringle, cum laude. Cheyenne R. White, summa cum laude. Randall Wilnauer, summa cum laude. Jackson Crystal Wright, magna cum laude. The following students will receive a Bachelor of Science degree in Gender, Women, and Sexuality Studies. Casey Garzillo. Hunter Allen Vance. The following student will receive a Bachelor of Arts degree in Geography. Devin Lee Garcia. The following students will receive a Bachelor of Science degree in Geology. Andrew Thomas Makings. Michaela Elaine Rader, summa cum laude. Madison Nicole Smith. The following students will receive a Bachelor of Arts degree in History. Rachel Elizabeth Heim, cum laude. Molly Elizabeth Pratt, cum laude. Connor Eugene Spellman. The following students will receive a Bachelor of Science degree in History. Andrew Lee Hageman. Alexander Grant Woodson. The following students will receive a Bachelor of Arts degree in Mass Communication. Elizabeth Frances Cox. Allie Catherine Deiter, summa cum laude. Madison Page Obermeyer, magna cum laude. Nora Tez Holens. Madeline Frances Powell. Caitlin Nicole Saubert. Alyssa A. Saucedo. The following students will receive a Bachelor of Science degree in Mass Communication. Abigail Page Ballou. Morgan Rose Egan. Brandon Christopher Fayback. Megan Kathleen Fish, cum laude. Grace Martha Frederick. Elizabeth A. Heath. Megan Elizabeth Kocher. Lydia Ann Leertz. Jonathan Riley McHugh. Abby Lee Plummer. Mary Christine White, magna cum laude. The following students will receive a Bachelor of Arts degree in Life Science. Jordan Lee Grace Cook. The following students will receive a Bachelor of Science degree in Life Science. Kelly Shea Cowley. Analia Dominguez. Margaret Lee Donnelly. Riley May Flake, summa cum laude. Reagan Olivia Hildebrand. Madison Lee Howard. Allison Faye McClendon. Natalie Alexis Ann Sanders, magna cum laude. Eric Matthew Sen. Hagan May Small.
The following students will receive a Bachelor of Science degree in Mathematics. Tyler Caleb Aiden. Austin Chauncey. Daniel N. Marsh. Kevin Turkey. The following student will receive a Bachelor of Arts degree in Modern Languages. Jamie Allen White. The following students will receive a Bachelor of Music Education. Sarah LaRae Gross. Mary Catherine Higgins. Victoria Elizabeth Lepp. Catherine Ann Mallory. Christian Manuel Martinez. Meredith Scott Newer. Christopher James Opperman. Marcel Williams. The following students will receive a Bachelor of Music degree in Applied Music. Noah Lawrence Lindquist. Kelly Cole Urschel. The following students will receive a Bachelor of Science degree in Theater. Morgan Lynn Sterrett. The following student will receive a Bachelor of Arts degree in Philosophy. Kelly Christine Holder. The following student will receive a Bachelor of Science degree in Philosophy. Jeremy Scott Campbell. Jessica Louise Johns. Mallory Williams, summa cum laude. The following student will receive a Bachelor of Science degree in Physical Science. Christopher Travis Durenfeld, cum laude. Brock Cody Wolf. The following students will receive a Bachelor of Science degree in Physics. Natasha Lynn Graham. Catherine Constant Ventura. The following students will receive a Bachelor of Arts degree in Political Science. Alexis Rose Durham. The following student will receive a Bachelor of Science degree in Political Science. Seth Mark Dinkle. Alexa Brianne Federley. Charles Edward Johns III. Helen Elizabeth McIntyre, summa cum laude. Lucas Cole Peterson. The following students will receive a Bachelor of Arts degree in Psychology. Nancy Julissa Cotillo. Jensen Elizabeth Strasser. Glenna Jean Vano. The following students will receive a Bachelor of Science degree in Psychology. Sydney June Acedo. Michelle Robin Briggs. Anna Dampier Cook, summa cum laude. Cipriana Harmon. Chioma Sharon Ebay. Kate Elizabeth Castens. Catherine Therese Clonder. Charday Jeanette Long. Delante Coran Madden. Gabrielle Therese Mayers. Ella Margaret Sky McLeod, cum laude. Jacob Thomas Miller. Mitchell Lloyd Packard. Maria Danielle Perea. Marissa Grace Sullivan. Selena Marie Wappelhorst. Kylie Chien Warren. The following students will receive a Bachelor of Arts degree in Social Sciences. Mackenzie Nicole Farney. The following students will receive a Bachelor of Science degree in Social Sciences. Marissa Christine Biggs. Rachel Thea Keynes. Marking Lesabre Daniels. Zachary Sean Elliott. Crystal LaDon Frazier. Chastity Lauren Kearney. Joshua Thomas Kettering. Eileen Claire Cozane. Blake Whitfield Lagoo. Alexis Lauren Harden. Elizabeth Diane Marsh. Alan James May. Rachel Marie Mirth. Alicia Mary Juanita Muniz. Zachary Taryn Nemechek. Megan Elizabeth Starr. Justin Michael Turner. Hunter Jane Wishart. The following students will receive a Bachelor of Science degree in Sociology. Trevor John Bell. Connor Alexander Kress. Amanda Leah Eston. So proud of you. Dan Marcus Harris Jr. Jeremy Tyler Jensen. Philip Eugene Maddox. Benjamin Ray Mosley. Jalen Kyle De La Cruz Padilla. Brooke Lauren Prothe. Trey P. Richardson. Jill Virginia Seidel. Molly Beth Stevenson. Logan Charles Stoddard. Ivan Colin Thien. Reginald Ngozi Walker. Willie Isaiah Zuber. The following students will receive a Bachelor of Arts degree in Anthropology. Tiffany Renee Hattasall. The following students will receive a Bachelor of Science degree in Anthropology. Carly Patricia Bagnieski. The following students will receive a Bachelor of Arts degree in Social Work. Sarah Ludwig. Consuelo Martinez, cum laude. Arnaldo Ruiz. The following students will receive a Bachelor of Science degree in Social Work. Alexis Marie Altamirano, magna cum laude. Jessica Lee Anschutz, summa cum laude. Martin Joseph Cox. Taylor Diane Deschamps. Christina A. DiMattia. Ashley Monet Longoria. Miranda Ashlyn Bell McMichael, magna cum laude. Sarah Ann Mize, cum laude. Virginia Leanne Myers. Francis King Rodrigo. The following students will receive a Bachelor of Science degree in Statistics and Data Sciences. Jaden Wen Atterbury. Nuvia Aurora Guerra.
With the awarding of the last diploma, I take this final opportunity to express my appreciation to all who have participated. I want to thank the members of the Platform Party and members of the staff in the Dean's office who have worked very hard to arrange for the orderly conduct of this ceremony. Finally, I wish to thank our marshals, Dr. Greg Paul, Dr. Michael Crisco, Dr. Chuck Martin, and Dr. Marcellus Caldas, as well as our organist, Professor David Pickering, for their participation in the ceremony. Please give them a big hand. The heart and soul of any institute of higher education is the faculty. This group symbolizes the intellectual contributions of the hundreds of full-time people at Kansas State University who have had such a positive influence on our graduates today and prepared them to change the world. I'd like to ask the faculty to stand. Please join me in recognizing their contribution to this day. Will the faculty please be seated? Now I would like the graduates to join us in recognizing another group of people who have contributed much and perhaps received little recognition. Would the parents, spouses, family, and friends of the graduates please stand and be recognized? Ladies and gentlemen, new graduates, thank you for participating in today's celebration. Thank you to the advisors that to help these students realize their potential, and thank you graduates for being part of our K-State family. To conclude our ceremony, we invite our graduates to join in the singing the K-State alma mater, this time as alumni. If you need any help, the words will appear on the screen. While Noah Lindquist returns to the podium, a couple of reminders. First, after we finish singing, we ask that our audience please remain seated until the platform party has recessed, and that our new graduates please wait until the marshals direct your row to rise. Faculty may exit through the tunnel. We would appreciate it if graduates and families could greet each other in the upper concourse near the ticket booths. The College of Education is scheduled to begin their commencement ceremony at 10. We are in good times. And with that, I will turn it over to Noah.
That I love full well, 'tis not in forest nor yet in dell, ever it holds me with magic spell. I think of the alma mater. KSU will carry the banner high. Colors fly, loyal to thee, thy children will swell the cry. Hail, 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 alma mater.
Wonderful. That was wonderful. All right. It's time to go forth and celebrate your graduation and change the world. As a side note, be proud of your accomplishment at K-State, and once again, congratulations to all of you. Thank you.